All right. Well, hello, everybody. I'm sorry for a couple of snafus as we opened up the Zoom meeting, but that seems to be the order of the day in the new world. Hopefully, we're all going to get back to something a lot more in person. So I'm Al Pisano. Thank you very much, Christine, for the short intro. I'm the Dean of Engineering. I've been here for 8 years, and I'm very happy and enthusiastic about our school. Let me share a short welcoming presentation with all of you. So, welcome to the Jacob School of Engineering, one of the best engineering schools in the country, located in this wonderful locale of San Diego. Just in case you hadn't heard, this is the second year running that we are ranked number 9 in the country among all the engineering schools. There are no ties, there are no qualifiers, there are no ifs, ands, or buts. We are number 9, the number 9 school in the country. We've worked very hard to rise up through the rankings to do that, and we grew in size. We grew in being more responsive to our students, and we grew in quality all at the same time. So we like to say that we're the school that transforms engineering education at scale. We are a big school. 2,647 people graduated from this school last year. We're number 4 in the California for bachelor's degrees awarded in engineering, number 4 for bachelor's degrees awarded to women, number 7 among the schools in terms of output in the country. We are the largest engineering school in California and just about on the entire West Coast. And we do all of this and at the same time run a number of programs so that you feel well connected and productive here at the Jacob School. Now, if you take a look at our faculty hires, I would offer a very amazing statistic that very few people can claim. In the last 7 years, we have hired half of the faculty that are in the engineering school today. Half my faculty were not here 7 years ago. They're all new. And what that means is they're young, energetic, eager to connect to you. And as you can see from this picture, they come in all kinds. This is what I call the picture of diversity. So we are organized in 6 academic departments. For the sake of time, I won't go and just read them out. The names at the top, the abbreviations at the bottom. Let me just offer that we are continuously upgrading and revolutionizing our curriculum. New this year is a program we call AI Tools for Engineering Practice. What this means is if you want to learn how to work with AI tools in order to provide AI solutions, that's fine. We have plenty of machine learning and other courses. But we have a special program in which we team AI experts with our faculty who have hands-on courses, and you can learn how to use AI tools to empower you as an engineer. So not just writing AI tools for others, using AI tools to make yourself more powerful. So we have a pretty big set of offerings when it comes to artificial intelligence and machine learning. Here's just a snippet of some of the courses that exist throughout the school already. Now, one of our secrets to success for being highly ranked, high research productivity, and large is that we make an investment in our staff, faculty, and students. And one of those important investments is the IDEA Engineering Student Center, where the acronym stands for Inclusion, Diversity, Excellence, and Achievement. The whole idea here is that we have a set of peer mentoring programs, transfer programs, and special staff who are there to make sure that you have all the tools you need to succeed. So, for example, We have a program for transfer student success, and this is Transfer Triton Day, so I'm figuring you'd like to hear a lot about that. We have several courses that assist our transfer students. We have guided engineering, apprenticeship, and research gear, and we have specialized workshops and info sessions for you. We are aware that 21% of our undergraduate engineering students are transfer students. 37% of those transfer students are first gens, just like me, by the way. My dad ran a bulldozer in the construction industry and never went to college. And 23% of transfer students are underrepresented minorities. So we understand these communities are already represented here, and we're looking to further strengthen and empower those communities as well as everyone else in the school. So one of the programs we run, because so many students are interested in engineering for the global good, is our Global Ties program, which is Teams in Engineering Service. And it's unique in that we put together teams of students to tackle issues in design, social innovation, and sustainable development. This is very much tied to the National Academy of Engineering Grand Challenge Scholars Program. Again, also available to you. Please note the QR code on the lower right, just in case you want to get more information. Make a quick snapshot with your cell phone. Another program that we run so that we give our students not just the theoretical basics, not just the applied experiences, but hands-on making skills. And that's our Envision Maker Studio, a special joint initiative run jointly between the School of Engineering and the Division of Arts and Humanities. And indeed, before COVID hit and made us close our doors only temporarily, I point to the graph to the lower right-hand corner of this graphic, in which you can see that in fall and winter of 2019-2020, we had over 14,000 drop-in uses of our studio per quarter. This coming from a unique student base of 2,200 people. So we have a large fraction of our people who want to make things. We have the facilities for you to do that. For those of you who are interested in taking your engineering skills and using them to put products into the marketplace, indeed, we run the Institute for the Global Entrepreneur, run jointly with the Rady School of Business. In that institute are four main programs: NSF I-Core, which is the NSF program to teach STEM staff, students, and faculty how to be entrepreneurs. Technology and MedTech accelerators. We run business plan competitions. And of course, we even have a technology management program. So for example, one of our recent startup groups from our students put together a company called Atelios, which is developing flexible, customizable batteries. And just recently, they received $1.25 million in seed funding to take their product, shown here, to the next step. That is a battery and circuit, all completely flexible. Our Jacob School has a corporate affiliates program, which is a national model for industry-university partnerships. Indeed, our team gets called all the time to give talks and teach other people how we do what we do. This corporate affiliates program ties a myriad of companies to our staff and students so that you can get relevant internships in industry while you are a student here at the Jacob School. So, for example, we have in that program TIP, Team Internship Program, 2 to 5 students working together on a project together in a company. typically 10 to 12 weeks over the summer, and a genuine co-op program, which allows you to spend the summer and 2 quarters working for a company during your education, and you do not take longer to graduate. We ask you to use time in the previous summer to get ahead of your curriculum so that when you dedicate your quarter or two to the industry experience, you are still on schedule to receive your degree. The corporate affiliates board typically is 75 companies. Here they are. And so this is a large set of companies that my staff, my faculty are ready to connect you to so that you have a successful career after you're done picking up your skills by training with us. Our research program is very, very strong. We're one of the biggest research houses in the country. Just in the last 5 or 6 years, we have a bevy of new research centers, building on a set of strong centers that have been around for over a dozen years. For the sake of time, I won't read all the names. I'll just offer that whatever you're interested in, we probably have a research center that's working in a closely aligned field. When you join the Jacobs School, you join the UC San Diego campus community because in the last 8 years, we have built all of these programs shown in the colored boxes that connect the Jacobs School to all the other divisions on the campus. So if you say, well, health sciences, well, we have an institute that connects us. Or physical sciences, yep, we're connected to them too. Or global policy and strategy, yep, we're connected to them too. And the connection is a fully operational institute that you can work with. These institutes broker lots of interactions between the other divisions and ours. So we do not do engineering in a microcosm. We do engineering with partners across the campus. So I like to say that we make bold possible. If you have bold ideas, we are the place for you to come and to aspire to those goals. So, for example, here's a bold idea. One of our bioengineering department's alumni had the idea, her name is Anna Marino, had the idea to use reversible gene therapy to treat the issues of chronic pain. So imagine using CRISPR to develop a gene therapy so that when you inject the gene therapy near the ganglion of cells that won't turn off the pain signal, these cells become modified and do turn off the pain signal so that you don't need opioids or any ongoing pain medication in order to deal with your chronic pain situation. Now, that's what I call a bold idea that one of our alumna ran forward with and is actually in a small company pursuing this dream. We do make bold possible. Another example is a group of students, undergraduates, by the way, built lightweight motorized exoskeleton for a 5-year-old child, Max, who contracted a rare virus which made his arm and legs difficult to use. He now has, his arms. He now uses this exoskeleton to reinforce the strength in his arms and is able now to be a lot more autonomous, a lot more independent. And so, again, we make bold possible. You can do outrageous projects like this because undergraduates just like you have done them before you. We make bold possible. It was our students who discovered that pelicans surf in front of a breaking wave, not above it or behind it, because there's additional airlift as the wave breaks. And this is subject to a comical cartoon where the vorticity equation is put here as what one pelican is offering to another as the secret to efficient flying. This is just yet another way that engineers put their knowledge to work, finding out how the oceans and the atmosphere interact and affect the climate. We do make bold possible. Or perhaps you're interested in air taxi service using unmanned automatic drones. Well, our faculty were one of the first in the country to get large funding from NASA to do exactly that. The faculty at the Jacobs School of Engineering are building the design platforms to help U.S. companies develop air taxi service. So imagine you step out into the street here in the Jacobs School, get into the air taxi, whisk away to LAX, and you're quickly on your way to your next destination. Or perhaps you're just going to LA for a quick visit. Air taxi service may provide that solution. We're in the thick of it. The Jacobs School is making those bold ideas possible. So let me finish by saying congratulations to all of you. We're going to have a series of Jacobs School Engineering Live webinars. Here's the schedule of all of these. You're going to find the links to all these webinars in your application portal. If you go there, you find all the information you need. Please refer to the portal in order to get the links real time, or you can use the links you see here on the screen. So thank you very, very much. I hope you found this short message of welcome exciting. I'm certainly happy to be here. After 8 years as dean, I'm still all fired up about the work that we do in the Jacobs School, and I'm happy to, I think, move into a Q&A session. Christine, you'll moderate that for us, I believe?
Yep.
Great. So I'll stop the share of the screen so we all can see each other. Thanks again for attending, everybody.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Christine Alvarado. I'm the Associate Dean for Students in the Jacobs School of Engineering, and I am excited that you're here with us tonight. There are many questions in the chat. You all have been very in the Q&A. You've been very, very active, and that's great. And I know Jenny is trying to type answers to some of them, so we are answering some by text. A lot of these questions are detailed questions about, you know, the department regulations or the school regulations. And so for those questions, we may or may not be able to answer them. And we very much encourage you to check with the departments directly during their information sessions, because some of these questions are specific to the various departments. So I'm going to try to prioritize the questions that are either like sort of the most wanted to be known, or the ones that are most appropriate for Dean Pisano and I and Jenny as well to answer. So let me see. I think I do want to start with this first question that's got the most upvotes here. Dean Pisano, this may or may not be a question you want to answer, but if you don't want to answer it, I can answer it. The question is it difficult to change majors after attending UCSD? In particular, if a student was admitted to one major in engineering and they want to switch to another major, how hard is that? And then there's kind of a subpart to that question is, does it help if the majors are in the same department?
Yeah. So look, it's not the easiest thing in the world to change, but there are ways to do it. And of course, it's always better to land in the right major the first time. But if you need to get realigned, we'll try to work with you to fix that. Christine is very familiar with a lot of the processes in which that is done. So Christine, maybe I'll let you add to that.
Yeah, so I think, you know, generally to change into an engineering major after you're a student at UC San Diego is very hard. So even switching between departments in engineering is very challenging. It can be done in some departments. Some departments do not allow transfer students to switch in after they have arrived. Now, if your question is about switching within a single department, like say this question says you're in one bioengineering track, you want to be in a different bioengineering major, that's really a question that's department by department. The departments set their own rules. I know my department, computer science and engineering, allows free switching of majors between the different majors within that department, but other departments may control that a bit more. So I encourage you to check with the specific department at their info session. Okay. Next question. Can I start taking classes this summer? And I'm actually going to I'm going to go to Jenny for this one. Jenny, do we recommend that people start taking classes in the summer? Is that possible?
Yeah, summer session is available to incoming students as well, including incoming transfer students such as yourselves. I think this may be related to another question, which is a lot of it is, of course, pertinent on what courses you can transfer, right? And getting that information before you can determine what courses you may want to take over the summer. So it's kind of like a chicken and egg kind of situation. And so a lot of students, if there are, if you're waiting on certain courses to determine whether you're able to transfer them, perhaps take a look at other courses that are still required within your degree program that are available over the summer, and those may be good candidates for you to take over the summer, if that's something that you want to do. And what I'll do is I'll drop in the chat the website for the summer session, so you can get more information about what courses are available over the summer, both for the first and second summer session.
All right, thanks, Jenny. Okay, another question that's kind of logistics question that I can take actually is, does every transfer engineering major have to take the Math 20E fulfillment exam, even if they've taken its equivalent and passed at community college? And the answer to that one is yes. Math 20E does not articulate to any of the community college courses, because the community college vector calculus course is a one-semester course, while here at UC San Diego, we have 2 quarters of vector calculus. So Math 20E is kind of just on the end of what you probably covered in your community college course. Now, that being said, this summer, we are running for the first time a 2-week intensive review session for incoming transfer students, just for engineering transfer students, specifically for all of you who want to take and pass that 20E fulfillment exam. And it will be a great opportunity for you to kind of brush up on those vector calc skills and get the highest chance of passing that class and passing the exam and getting credit for Math 20E. You'll get more information coming to you about that program. All right. A related question that I'll answer real quick is it necessary for transfer students to retake classes if they already took them at community college, if they passed? So the answer to that is, if they articulate, certainly you'll get the credit if you passed. If they do not articulate, there's a process where you can submit petitions to see if the course is in fact equivalent, and you would submit that petition to your department. And in many cases, we do find that there are equivalent courses that aren't officially articulated. All right. So here's another one for Dean Pisano. Is there a free use lab that we can use for side projects?
So yes and no. We have the Envision Maker Studio, which does take drop-in use as well as scheduled use for classes. You have some facilities there, but it's not the kind of place where you can say, this is my 10 square feet, and I'm going to reserve it for weeks and weeks and leave a project there while you build it. For those of you who are interested in these longer range projects, we have a huge number of student groups that run extracurricular projects, a Formula SA race car, a submarine project, human-powered submarine, etc., etc. They are typically set up with some workspace and some long-term work arrangements. Now, for COVID, we've had to throttle that back, but as the county keeps opening up gradually, we expect all of that to get back into top gear. Christine, is there anything you want to add to that?
No, that sounds right. Yeah, there's definitely chances to build stuff, and we're heading back to in-person.
Yep.
All right, thanks. Next question for Dean Pisano. I think you're a good one to answer this one. Can I find a job as an aerospace engineer after graduating from UC San Diego, or an internship while attending UCSD as an undergraduate student? So I guess talk a little bit about job and internship.
Yeah, so first off, aerospace is hot. The department is getting bombarded with applicants. And because we run the largest aerospace program on the West Coast, everyone in aerospace knows us. Everyone in aerospace is recruiting with us. Boeing shows up. Lockheed shows up. SpaceX shows up. Myriads of people show up. The department is actually having a hard time dealing with all the attention. So Aerospace is a great program, whether you're looking to work on structures or propulsion or a number of other issues that are subsets of aerospace. We're going great guns here. We have a great program. Welcome. We'd love for you to study here.
All right, thanks. All right, a few questions here about research and getting involved in research as quickly as possible. So one question is particularly directed to my program, the Early Research Scholars Program. So I'll answer that. So the Early Research Scholars Program, or ERSP, and its sister program, the GEAR program, the Guided Apprenticeship for Guided Engineering Apprenticeships in Research, are both beginning research programs for new researchers. ERSP is a program where you will be able to apply this summer to start right away in the fall. That's for computer science majors and computer science related projects. For GEAR, Jenny, do you know if GEAR accepts applications from incoming transfer students?
Unfortunately not, just because of the timing for the program. We normally open application in the spring, so definitely spring quarter of your first year, we welcome your application.
Okay, so if you're an incoming CSE student, there will be an opportunity to get involved in ERSP in your first year. If you're in GEAR, if you're in other engineering fields, you would have to wait 1 year to participate in GEAR, but there are other opportunities for getting involved in research. So there are opportunities to work with faculty. That becomes easier as you start taking their classes and make those connections. There's also a campus-wide center that helps you get involved with research opportunities called AEP, the Academic Enrichment Programs. And they have a number of research opportunities where students can apply for funding, to work with faculty, to kind of do their own research projects. So there are many different opportunities there, and we can put some of those links. Let me just put some links in the chat as we get a chance.
So while Christine is doing that, let me just add that with our research experience undergraduate, REU, we encourage the faculty to take undergraduates, transfers or first years, everyone in between, into their labs for research experiences. And this is something where I would offer a little bit of initiative on your part, reaching out to a faculty member that you like particularly in class and are doing well in class with. This is part of the magic of the Jacobs School. We are big, but we depend on personal relationships. And so in your first set of classes, don't be afraid to reach out to the faculty. If they have an opening for REU, they will indeed respond.
All right, great, thanks. I just put links in the chat and I realized they only went to the panelists, so I will repost those to everybody. Let's see. Other questions? Oh, okay, here we go. How would you describe the engineering culture at UCSD? Are there a lot of engineering design clubs to join? So Dean Pisano, I'll let you take that one.
Yeah, so any of you who've checked out my background know I spent 30 years at another little university north of here. No truth to the rumor that it's Berkeley. What I would say is here at the Jacobs School, our students are a very special breed. They are students who are interested in the theory but want to see the practice. Industry knows that. And so when they look for this balanced engineering approach, right, you all can think of schools where they're very applied and the theory is light. You can think of schools where theory is almost everything and the applications are few. Here we take a very balanced approach. And so we encourage the faculty to have hands-on experiences in the classes. We have a very large and extensive laboratory sequence. And indeed, we encourage you to do as much building and making as you can.
Great. Thank you. All right. Here's one that we may have to pass to the department, but I'll see if Dean Pisano knows. What are some important differences between the previous environmental engineering degree and the new mechanical engineering with specialization in renewable energy and environmental flow degree in terms of the opportunities and coursework?
Okay, so there are 3 basic points. 1, the program itself didn't change. The courses are all there. The classes are all there. The labs and the faculty are all there. 2, because the original environmental program was a little bit small, we were just it was just too difficult to get it accredited with ABET. So in order to be able to serve the students better and get an ABET accreditation, all we did was change the administrative structure. But the content's the same, the rigor is the same. The opportunities are better because now you come from an ABET accredited program. And everyone knows the San Diego style, that departments have many different programs and many different tracks within programs. So there doesn't seem to be any confusion, and it seems to be percolating just fine. So if you had any worries about that, we didn't take any step back. We actually improved the program overnight by putting it into a segment that enabled it to be accredited.
Great, thank you. Okay, here's one about COVID. How is COVID going to affect our experience in school next year? Are we going to be in class, in person, online?
Well, the best laid plans of mice and men may or may not survive contact with reality. However, we are planning full tilt to be open, fully open, and some mixture of remote and hybrid would be the fallback plan. Note that it's the fallback plan, not the plan. So we're going through, we're watching all the stats very carefully. The chancellor is working with all the deans to get the campus prepared. So I anticipate that we will be mostly back to normal in the fall. And I hope by January, barring any unforeseen nasty surprises like a new variant, I think we're going to be pretty much wide open. So we were very careful, and I'll just offer one stat. We have not, in the entire history of the COVID pandemic, had one case of COVID being contracted in person-to-person contact here on campus. Every single case tracked shows that the person contracted COVID off campus. So we feel our caution had a great result. We have very low infection rates here on the campus, and we hope to be opening up in the fall and being really open in January.
Great. I'm looking forward to that. All right, this one's specific about computer science. So a computer science major asks, when is the earliest time I can meet with an academic advisor for my education plan? I know I can't give you an exact date. I'm sure they will be able to at the CSE info session. But I do know that they have specific advising hours for transfer students over the summer. So they dedicate time to help transfer students figure out both their courses that might transfer in, as well as their plan for graduation. So unfortunately, I can't be more specific than that, but I encourage you to go to the info session with the CSE department to get a more detailed answer. Okay. Let's see, I'm trying to prioritize now that we've got a whole bunch of questions that have been sort of equally upvoted. So I want to prioritize the ones that are specific for Dean Pisano's point of view. Oh, here's a question. I'm not sure of the answer to this one. Maybe Dean Pisano has the answer. Can transfers get into research opportunities or internships this summer with the help of UCSD staff, like incoming transfers?
Yeah, so we have not locked the door against that. But the problem is, because many of these research experiences depend on you having a relationship with the faculty member because they're going to welcome you into the lab, you'd have to be pretty fast on your feet to build a relationship with a faculty member so that you would basically earn your way into the lab. So, we depend on the close relationships between the students and the faculty to provide a great academic experience. This is one of the sequelae of that, which is, the best things come after you form the relationships. So if you can go fast, then you can go fast, I guess is a clever way to say it.
All right, thanks. Another COVID question here is, does the school require students to get the COVID vaccine, or will that be an option, I guess, or is it up to the student?
My understanding is that the campus has not yet issued a policy that everyone must be vaccinated. Uh, the school doesn't set any of those policies. We follow campus guidance. What we do enforce locally very strongly is the distancing protocols, the mask wearing protocols, the cleaning protocols in the lab, et cetera, et cetera. But the school isn't touching the mandatory vaccination issue. We're letting the campus handle that.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yes, a lot of the policies of the Jacob School are not Jacob School policies, they're campus policies. We just simply follow them. That being said, it is quite easy to get vaccinated on campus. The vaccination center has been amazing. It's been
Yeah,
great.
walk-in service at REMAC. Just walk on up, no appointment necessary, and you're ready to go.
All right. Oh, Jenny, here's a question that you can help answer. What somebody in the Q&A asks, where do students find out about the department sessions for Triton Transfer Day?
Yes. So you should be able to access that information through your application portal. But I will also drop on the chat here the link for the Transfer Triton Day website, where you can actually, where you should be able to view the schedule for Saturday, which is when all the information sessions are being held for engineering departments.
All right, great. Questions are coming so fast. Let me go back to the top. Quick question I can answer. Do CSE majors have to take Math 20E? The answer is no. You can, you just don't have to. It's not required. At least not for the CS major. Let's see. A lot of these are very department specific, so I'm trying to preference the ones that would be of most interest to everybody. Let's see. Can UCSD get into the Hyperloop race? Maybe.
That would depend on the energy and initiative of the students and the faculty. No obstacles to it, but that's typically something that would be driven by the initiative of students and faculty. So I would not drive that.
All right. Here's a good one. I think probably others will feel this way. This question asker says, I feel nervous on how prepared I am at the university level since many of my classes have been online. And for the most part, I've basically self-taught myself. Is there any preparation program for students who are transferring in now taking upper division classes? So, or what advice would you have?
I would make two observations. The ultimate goal of all education is for you to be able to teach yourself the material, or else you'll never become a lifetime learner. So if you've picked up that skill early on, holy mackerel, you're actually empowered. Now, if you're worried that you didn't teach yourself enough stuff, then we have the opportunities for the summer, and certainly our faculty understand the situation with the situation surrounding remote learning. So if you've been admitted, it's because we think you got the stuff, and so I think you should feel some confidence there.
Yeah, and maybe this is a good time to ask Jenny to talk about the transfer prep program that the Idea Center runs.
Yes, I actually want to plug as well. You know, we have a slide that we will show before we end this webinar. We do have a couple more opportunities for you to talk to current students this week. They will be hosting a couple of sessions tomorrow at 5 and then Thursday again at 5. And this is a good opportunity for you to ask questions specifically from students who've been through what you're about to go through, right? Not just in general in terms of, you know, maybe housing or, you know, financially, right? But also as it relates to your department and your major, because those are very specific. A lot of the questions that are coming through are very specific to the majors and the departments. And so asking another student who's enrolled in that major, it makes a big difference in terms of them being able to share the experience with you and learn for you to learn from that. Having said that, we do have a couple of programs specifically for transfer students. One of them is actually held over the summer. It's called Transfer Prep. And I will drop the link on the chat in a few minutes. This is a 5-day program. It's going to be virtual this year. It's being held in July, and it's completely free. And the goal is to help you acclimatize to what studying engineering in UCSD is like. So there will be a lot of topics and sessions as it relates to what do you need to do to prepare for the rigor of engineering studies, so that when you come back in fall, you know what to expect. You would have met a lot of students who are going to be studying together with you, make friends, make connections, so that hopefully when you come back in fall, you have that network already of peers that you can continue to connect with, right? They may even be in the same courses that you're taking. So that's one way that we support your transition to UCSD. And then as soon as you start in fall, we have a mentorship program, again, specifically for transfer students, where we pair you up, usually no more than 1-to-3 ratio with a current transfer student. Again, this will be an opportunity for you to not just broaden your network with your peers, but with current students who will serve as your mentor, and they will serve in that capacity for a whole year throughout your first year. So you'll have someone you can ask questions anytime, who can actually provide you, again, some guidance and share with you the experience so that you can hopefully benefit from things that they've learned along the way, and from a lot of the resources that you will be able to kind of get access to from the get-go, instead of looking for it on your own by yourself. So those are 2 programs specifically for transfer students that we offer through the Idea Engineering Student Center, and we'll definitely be sending information about both programs, definitely for the summer program soon, and then for the teen program over the summer.
All right, thanks, Jenny. And I saw you put the link to the Transfer Triton Day website, and there were some questions about, did you say that they could find the links to the department sessions in the portal?
Yes, so usually the admissions office like to share the links to a lot of the sessions privately to students who are coming in, so they don't actually make it available through the website. You have to log in through your application portal to get access to the Zoom links for the sessions on Saturday.
All right, thanks. Let's see, next question that is up at the top here. What is the average graduation time for engineering transfer students? And I mean, I can take this if Dean Pisano.
Yeah, if you have a more accurate stat, please offer.
So it really depends on the department. It ranges from just over 2 years, about 7 quarters. So a year is 3 quarters. So it ranges, the average is about 7 quarters in some departments, up through about, getting close to 9 quarters in other departments. So you'd want to check on your own department and ask that question to your department. Although I actually believe there is some public data, and I'll see if that is up, and I can point you to the data where you can actually look it up directly. But yeah, it is, and I will say that we are working very hard to bring those numbers down. Our goal is to get all of our transfer students to be able to graduate in 2 years or 6 quarters. Taking classes during the summer will certainly help decrease the time to graduation. But in many cases, it's just a little bit more comfortable to get through the path if you take just a little bit longer than 2 years. Okay, here's a good one for Dean Pisano. So as we have mentioned, the Jacobs School is huge. Does this negatively affect undergraduate education and faculty access?
So it affects it a little bit, but not anywhere as much as you think it would. We are aware that we're big, and we are aware that we're big because a lot of students want to come here. And we're aware that the students want to come here because they get a darn good education. So, yes, we have to take special measures to break large lab courses up into smaller sections. We have a lot of TA support, et cetera, et cetera. So, honestly, is it the same as being in a class with just 8 people? No, you do feel the size a little bit. However, we have a very warm and vibrant community and many, many ways for you to be engaged. So, if you take a little bit of initiative, you're not alone. So, I think it's manageable, and we're not the biggest school in the country. And I come from a big school. Berkeley's pretty big. So therefore, I think we're managing that issue pretty well.
Thanks. Related question, how hard is it to have a balanced life while taking courses at the Jacobs School?
Make sure you get your grades, and then everything else is in balance. But the more serious answer is, look, we have a very rigorous program, and we try to give you a lot of tools in short order. So, I would be misleading you if I didn't say anything else except you should come and expect to work hard. I mean, that's the way to success. I can assure you the investment in time and effort will be well worth it because we have a great reputation for getting people into great jobs if they do well here.
Right. Thank you.
Hang on a second. But does that mean I have to give up surfing or tennis? No. You just can't do it every day for 4 hours.
Yeah, certainly. That's true. That we do want our students not to work all the time. We want you to have a life, but you will work hard as well. Okay. Let's see. Here's some questions were in the Q&A about double majoring, which we answered that there is no way to double major in 2 engineering fields. So you have to pick one major and that's your major. You also can't major and minor in 2 engineering programs. I don't think you can have 2 minors in engineering either. So I think that's also something that's not allowed.
It's a depth versus breadth requirement, right? We want people who spread their skills out, not just concentrate too deeply on one thing. That is a better route to success.
Great. All right. A question here to talk about the Triton Racing and Rocket Clubs.
Yeah. So we take great pride in our Formula SAE Racing Club. We take great pride in our Triton Rocket Club. You may not realize that the Triton Rocket Club is one of the few in the country that is so good. A team of NASA engineers came to visit us and volunteered to work with us to develop special equipment and protocols for test launching rockets in the Mojave Desert. So we are extremely well known. So it's a great program. In fact, there are 2 rocket programs. The Triton Racing Group does great. They went from nowhere to starting to place, I think, 36th or something in the Formula SAE Racing over just a 5-year period. Any of you who know racing teams from other schools know that nobody moves up meteorically like that. We're very proud of that. So those teams are great. And I can assure you, places like Honda and other companies come specifically to meet those students because they know you know how to work as a team and solve difficult problems under time and cost constraints. What company wouldn't love someone with proven abilities there?
Thanks. All right, some more technical questions here about logistics. Do we have to SIR before we meet with an academic advisor about our specific plan? I guess that's the question. And I don't know if that's the case in all departments, but I suspect it's probably true that if you want to have a personal sit down with an advisor about your specific plan, yes, you have to be a student at UC San Diego. However, all departments have resources on their websites to help you develop your plan on your own. So I would strongly encourage you to look at the sample plans for incoming transfer students. All the departments have them on their websites, and you can get a sense of what you would have to do in order to get through the degree in 2 years or 2 to 3 years. Okay. I'm kind of been shying away from this one, but maybe I'll answer it quickly. Can you go over computer science specialized fields? It's specific to computer science, but we probably have quite a few incoming transfer students for computer science on the call. In terms of specialized fields, I'm not sure if it means the different majors in computer science, but there are 3 different majors in computer science. There's the computer science, the Bachelor of Science, there's the computer engineering Bachelor of Science, which tends to focus a little bit more on the hardware aspects of computing, and that's a joint major with the ECE department. And then there's the computer science major with a specialization in bioinformatics, which is obviously, as it sounds, focused on biology and bioinformatics. So it's computer science essentially applied to biology. So it's kind of in a nutshell. If you want more detail than that, go to the department session on Saturday and they will give you a lot more detail there. Okay, so here's a question about a GETC, and Jenny, maybe you can help us answer this one. So the question is about, does the Jacobs School of Engineering accept a GETC, and if so, what's the deadline to submit it? I believe it's run through the colleges. Is that right, Jenny?
I'm a little bit rusty on this one, so I may have to look for the information. I believe it is. And I may be able to find the website that has more information on this. A lot of the questions actually as it relates specifically to course transfer. Those are things that are handled centrally by the Office of Admissions in correspondence with the colleges. And so those are not questions that we are able to actually answer. Unfortunately, there's a lot of questions about transferring courses and credits and so forth. And if you're not able to actually get an answer through the admissions office, I would ask them to refer you to the office that can answer, because a lot of the time it also depends on the courses that you want to transfer. And so we're not trying to avoid those questions. It's just that our office, the Jacobs School of Engineering, does not actually handle those matters. And that's why we don't have the answer. But I'll look for the information for that I get to you right now.
Yeah, and the thing about the transfer courses too is that if your course doesn't automatically transfer, you may still be able to petition and get transfer credit, but that has to be done over the summer. There's a big process where students submit tons of petitions to try to get their credit, and the advisors help you through that process. Oh, here's one that I want to make sure that we answer before we end. Could you reassure us about the 6-quarter limit and the college requirements? So you've all probably heard that there's this 6-quarter limit for transfer students. And you may be concerned that after 6 quarters, bad things will happen. And I want to reassure you that that is absolutely not true. That if you need more than 6 quarters, you can take more than 6 quarters. Nobody's going to kick you out. Nobody's going to prevent you from continuing with your degree. It is absolutely the case that you will be able to continue with your studies and finish your degree. The reason for the 6-quarter limit is because we really want to work towards a place where we can get you through in 6 quarters. We want to support you to get there. But if you need more time, you can have more time. Please don't worry about that at all.
Right. Let me just emphasize that what this policy does is make sure that you work with your academic advisor to lay out a feasible, not infeasible, plan for graduation. So it's basically sending the signal, hi, you don't get to fool around. When you put together that plan, it's a real plan. And so the only way to get more than 6 quarters is to make sure that you have a concrete plan, not, I'll just wing it. So that's the real spirit of it, which is, hi, take this seriously, not we're looking for the nearest door to toss you out.
Yeah, great. We have so many questions. I don't know if we'll be able to get through all of them, but I just want to check on time. We're right at the end of the hour. We don't want to go too long, but I can stay on a bit longer.
If it's okay, Jeannie and Christine, let's go another 5 minutes. But then, sadly, I'm going to be late for another Zoom call. So if you I'll just apologize for being 5 minutes late somewhere else.
Okay. Then let me find the absolute most valuable questions for you to answer in these. Let's see. Wow, there's so many. Let me see. How often? They're all very specific.
So
Um,
let me offer, maybe we should go into a wrap up then. Oh, you got
I
one?
have one.
Okay.
What's the number one piece of advice you would give to transfer students?
The number one thing to do is to get as engaged with the school as you can, as fast as you can. That's really it. So, we've already seen in the chat, oh, the school is big. How do you deal with all that? I'll just offer this. Every year I have a couple of students that are always having some troubles. The common part of every one of their stories is that they didn't quite understand what was going on and didn't do anything about it right away. So the number one piece of advice: engage early, take the initiative early. This is a skill that you need to do for the rest of your life anyway. And as long as you know you're on track, then you're on track. If you feel like you're floating, you have to do something about that. If you just take care of that one thing, you'll have a very, very good educational experience here with us.
All right. Well, maybe we should wrap it up there. And Jenny, maybe you and I can stay on and just answer a few of these in the chat. So we'll just stay on and answer a few more questions in the chat. If your question was not answered, it's probably because it's better asked to the department. So please do take your questions to the department. I do see some questions about ERSP. I'm happy to stay on for a minute and talk about ERSP, but I want to make sure that
Okay.
Fasano.
So look, so for everyone who's on the call, thank you very much for your interest. Thank you very much for your questions. You know that we're running this session because we love to see all of you select us. We think we provide a great education. So thanks everybody for your interest. Thanks for your enthusiasm. Sorry that I can't get all the questions answered myself. I have to move along. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Jeannie. If you guys take it from here, that'd be great. Okay, good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you. All right, as I mentioned, we're going to try to answer as many of these questions, probably just with typing, because a lot of them are kind of specific to individuals. So we don't want to necessarily take up the airtime. But I did want to address the few questions I see about the Early Research Scholars Program. So I mentioned that that's an option for incoming transfer students to apply to. What it is it's a 1 year long research apprenticeship program, and you can find out a lot more at the link that I put in the chat way up top, just the ersp.ucsd.edu. It's a group-based research apprenticeship. You get grouped into a group with 4 computer science students, and matched with a faculty advisor, and it's a highly scaffolded first introductory research experience where you take a class in the fall, propose a research project, and then carry out that proposal over the winter and spring quarter, and then end up presenting your work at the end of spring quarter. So I will send out to each and every person who enrolls SIRs at UCSD as a transfer student to CSE, I will be sending you an email with information about how to apply. The applications will open in either late June or early July, and then they'll close sometime mid to end July.
And I also wanted to share again, is this on the screen right now? There's a couple more opportunities for you to connect with us. An hour is never long enough. And we understand that you have a lot of questions and curiosities about what it's like to be a student at UC San Diego. So we do have a couple more opportunities for you to connect with us and with our students. Specifically, because a lot of these questions I think are also best answered by students who actually can speak to their firsthand experience as engineering students. So please, if you're available, take the time to attend one of the panel sessions that we're holding, either Tuesday or Thursday. Tuesday is going to be focused on department information, so you will get to meet students in your department, hopefully in your major. And then the Thursday is going to be focused on specific topics that are important to transfer students. So housing, financial aid, Math 20E will be covering that information. Christine mentioned that there is a boot camp for the fulfillment exam over the summer. So we'll go through that information tomorrow in a more lengthy manner as well. and be able to hopefully as well clarify what that looks like. And then on Wednesday, there is an opportunity for you to meet students from ACES, NESB, and SHIP as well. And they will be holding a session space just for you to meet with them. And again, for them to share with you their experiences as students at UCSD. And then Saturday, you should be able to meet faculty and staff from your home department. And they will be able to go through specific information as it relates to curriculum and resources that are offered through the department. So there's plenty of opportunities. I hope that you don't feel bad if your question didn't get answered today. There'll be plenty more opportunities for you to hopefully get an answer to your question.
Thanks, everyone. We'll be staying on and answering a few more questions if you want to stay on to see your answer. Otherwise, thanks for coming.